Fun. That's how Coach Herman described day 3 of preseason camp for the Longhorns. He believes his Burnt Orange are enjoying themselves more than ever. That promise was if Texas wins a Big 12 title, then Hager gets to pull out the scissors and cut his hair. But here we are 3 years later, and his hair is getting longer and longer.
Coach, 13 points off the 12 turnovers. How do you keep your defense locked in the second half? Monday night when Syracuse was playing Oakland, Toledo was having their first Thanksgiving meal of the week, cooked by none other than Taylor Attaway.
Now it all starts with the placement of the ball, and Coach Kelly says there's 3 things to remember from there: pace, face, and keep your head down. Sam Ehlinger led Texas in rushing with 381 yards total, but not by much. Running back Daniel Young 8 yards behind him.
It's officially under a month until the Longhorns hit the road to face Maryland.
Moving over to Syracuse basketball, it seems like one announcement after another. This time from Matthew Moore, the sophomore forward from Ohio.
Monica Ortiz. Monica?
Well, Coach Boeheim said his team just stopped playing defense, and if they can't play defense, then they can't beat anyone. He said the team stopped for about 2 minutes, and that's when you saw Toledo make 4 3-pointers.
But as Ehlinger said today, it doesn't matter who gets the first snap during fall camp. It doesn't mean he'll be the first to see the field against Maryland on September 1st. You're a sophomore. I think people often forget that, but yet you're a leader on this team. Did you ever think when you were younger that you would be playing such a big role this early in your college career?
No, not at all.
It was at this point last season during fall camp that Elijah Rodriguez thought his season was over. Well, it was.
Alongside Monica Ortiz, I'm Sean Cameron, and Monica, for both these teams to get a win, it all goes down to one position.
It's going to come down to the battle between the 2 liberos. Now, when you have 2 dynamic teams at the net, you're going to have to be able to adjust early. Started off strong from the get-go, kept a commanding lead almost the entire game. What do you contribute that success to? As much as he loves teaching the kids all the drills, there's one thing that him and the rest of the coaches want the kids to take away.
Never been more excited to coach a team in my career.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame inductions recognized the 2018 class in both Canton and Chattanooga. Why Tara Owens didn't make the trip later in the show.
That was a lot of fun. I've had, I think our coaches have, I think our players have had the most fun that we've had on the practice field since we've been here.
Fun. That's how Coach Herman described day 3 of preseason camp for the Longhorns. He believes his Burnt Orange are enjoying themselves more than ever. Welcome inside Sports Sunday. I'm Monica Ortiz. Coach Herman entering year 2 as head chief, and fans want to see a national championship over a Texas Bowl win. In order to do that, he'll need to fix some holes on the offensive side of the ball, stemming from the quarterbacks to the offensive line. That offense needs a complete makeover if it wants to find itself near the top 10 in rush offense. Last season, Texas finished 95th in the country out of 129 teams. How bad is that exactly? The 2005 national championship team finished the season 2nd. Texas has a long ways to go.
We're better because of development. I think every single running back in that room is better. Trey and Keontae certainly bring an added dimension and element to that room, and so I'm not ready to crown them yet. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll never do that after one day in pads, but it's obvious that we've developed at that position.
Sam Ehlinger led Texas in rushing with 381 yards total, but not by much. Running back Daniel Young 8 yards behind him. The only difference is Young took 33 less carries. Texas averaged just 3.6 yards per carry, so Herman saying it's better, well, it should be. Texas brings in 27-year veteran offensive line coach Herb Hand this year. His resume shows proof of his ability to produce a tough O-line, and as his past units helped create all-time leading rushers at 3 different schools. Sticking with this guy as their main man is another story. Texas has changed offensive line coaches 4 times in the past 4 years.
There hasn't been like a problem that any of us have encountered that he doesn't have the answer for. He's really knowledgeable about the game, has a lot of cool techniques that he's taught us.
I spent time watching last year's film just to get an idea of who's who and what's what, and I'm real excited about the group. I think that there's, like I said, there's some really good pieces there. We still have a lot of development to do, but I'm excited about the experience that's coming back.
Moving over to the other side of the ball, Todd Orlando getting some much-deserved recognition. He helped turn around the defense in 2017. How much exactly? It was one of the nation's top defensive turnarounds. The Horns made a move from 90th to 29th in scoring defense. To get it to national championship caliber will still take some work, and as far as stopping the opponent on third down, Texas ranked 3rd in the country. Pretty good considering the Big 12's ability to score.
Sometimes I overthink things, and sometimes I'll just be like, just come up to me like, I didn't have you here to do this. I just have you right here so you don't have to think, and you just go hit. You know what I mean? Just go. And then he puts a lot of the coverages and packages into the same family. By learning in concepts, you're able to know what everyone's doing, and it's just becomes so much easier to know what you're doing and to know where your help is.
The investigation at Ohio State involving Urban Meyer and what he knew about Zach Smith and his wife continues. Herman was on the Ohio State staff with Meyer from 2002 to 2014. The UT head coach refused to comment on the ongoing investigation, pointing out that he was not with the program in 2015 when the domestic abuse situation came to light. Meyer said at Big Ten Media Day he knew nothing about the situation with Smith, but once it was uncovered, he did know. He said he reported it to the right people. Courtney Smith, ex-wife of the accused, spoke out this week.
So to be clear, none of the coaches' wives knew about the physical abuse?
At that time, they did not. In 2015, I came forward with it. I told Shelly. I sent her some pictures. I spoke to her on the phone. You know, Shelly she said she was going to have to tell Urban. She was going to have to tell Urban. I said, that's fine. You know, you should tell Urban.
Jimbo Fisher enters his first year with the Aggies after leaving Florida State. The A&M squad taking in all this coach has to offer during preseason camp, and they're learning his level of intensity is second to none.
Coach Fisher, and he's not going to change at all. Even if we were in the spring, he's still going to hammer us, and his attention to detail is always going to be there. You know, that's why I respect him so much as a man, because he's the guy that he poses to be. Whether it's spring, off season, or it's in the fall, he's going to always be there, strong, attention to detail, and getting us ready.
Friday marked Johnny Manziel's first day back on the gridiron. Canadians getting the first glimpse of his not-so-all-star performance. The hopes were high and maybe a little too high. The former Aggie threw 4 interceptions in a 50-11 loss. The only good thing on the horizon for Manziel, it can only get better from here.
I was not the biggest, the strongest, or fastest, but my goals were clear.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame inductions always bring out heartfelt emotions. How Ray Lewis came up with the idea for his legendary dance later in the show. Plus, the Astros make a decision that leave many questioning their tactics. How they are approving their decision is worth it.
This is former Texas linebacker and current Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl champ Jordan Hicks, and you're watching Sports Sunday.
A second chance, that's the statement the Astros are using to defend their trade for Alberto Osuna. He completed a 75-game suspension for domestic violence today. The Astros organization said, quote, the information regarding the specific incident weighed heavily on their decision. George Springer hurt his left shoulder earlier this week and then returned to the Astros lineup Friday. Today, George leads off with a Springer dinger, his 6th leadoff homer of the year. 1-0 Astros, then disaster. In the third, Springer tries to steal second and hurts his thumb. X-rays negative, but he could still need a DL stint. Dodgers win 3-2.
I woke up this morning living my dream job. Why not come out here and have the best time of your life?
The Cowboys aim to improve not just from a 9-7 record, but at their dance moves too. We meet Daniel Ross at Cowboys camp as CBS Austin Sports Sunday rolls on. It wasn't the final seconds of the overtime thriller against Oklahoma State last year that Coach Tom Herman chose to talk about at Big 12 Media Day. It was a moment that came in the second quarter after a simple third down when Breckenhager made his way over to the sidelines.
Brecken what? Sorry for what? He goes, for being such an a-hole. I love you, Coach. And he gives me a big hug right there, and it's, all right, Breck, I got a game to coach here, bud.
Breckenhager led the Horns in sacks and showed some emotions.
You know how many tears have soaked up in this after all the games I've lost?
And even after crying in his hair after those 6 losses, the senior smiles and holds his horns high, embracing the new season.
You want me to wear my heart on my sleeve? I've been wearing my heart on my sleeve.
The thing about Brecken, you know, he's gonna die to make the team win, help the team win. He's gonna do whatever it takes.
And putting his life on the line for his teammates takes him one step closer to his ultimate goal, and it's not signing footballs or taking pictures with fans after a Texas Bowl win.
And I made a promise to a few teammates, then to the media, and I'm always gonna be real.
That promise was if Texas wins a Big 12 title, then Hager gets to pull out the scissors and cut his hair. But here we are 3 years later, and his hair is getting longer and longer.
I hate it. Like, I'm not comfortable in this, and I can't wait to see it be gone.
I thought it was a phase, and he has stuck to it, man. I'm proud of him.
Since the turn of the century, the Longhorns delivered only 2 conference championships. And with this being Hager's final year wearing this helmet, it's his last chance to make it 3.
If there's a guy that bleeds more burnt orange than he does, you'll have to show him to me.
Right now, the future is fuzzy for the Horns as Coach Herman looks for his starting quarterback, but good thing for UT fans, Hager is promising special things on the defensive side of the ball.
We're a bunch of freaks, and Yancey McKnight right now has been conducting the freak show. And he's ready to let us loose.
And maybe pulling that trigger will bring a few less tears, a few more memories, and for Hager, a desperately needed haircut. In Frisco, Monica Ortiz, CBS Austin Sports.
Let's go to Monica Ortiz and Coach Jim.
Coach, 13 points off the 12 turnovers. How do you keep your defense locked in the second half?
Monday night when Syracuse was playing Oakland, Toledo was having